for the burbs, for the block, for the pure props. Do it every day, I work hard at the first shot. I don't really give a damn what the purse got. Do it for the game, for the name is the first thought. You ain't experienced a similar hustle. I simply muscle into infamy with intricate tunnels. I work the underground like miners, but I major the muzzle to shut them up, shut them down, then I give them a shuttle, okay? See, this is every day of using heavyweight in music, educating through it. Even legends thank me to its motivation. That's why there's no delay and no vacations. I don't need another reason, I'ma lead, I'm going apeshit. Oh, the lake kid, moment goes to waste if no one takes it. But it's hard to be a pro when y'all in training mode to make it. I'll note the notifications and make the most of my greatness for the culture in the place I call home if no one thinks it.
I step in the spot and the bitches show me love. I do it for the block, do it for the club. Fuck your ice grill, foolish with the mug. Dirt off my shoulder, I do it with a shrug. Brush them off so easy, cakewalk. Cats be catching rounds when I be letting strays off. Big bills, your stash small like Adolf. We don't let you pussy slide, pink slip, laid off, A-dog. Listen up when I'm speaking. Swinging through your town, but it's just for the weekend. You punch drunk, and we don't fuck with you weaklings. In over your head, now you stuck in the deep end. We bet. Better than your best bet. Stack chips, bigger than your next check. Duck hunt, I kill your birds. Deathbed, run up in your crib, cracking all your fucking nest eggs.
We do it for the birds, we do it for the block, we do it for the love. We just don't stop. We do it for the game, we do it for the props. We do it every day and it just don't stop. We do it for the birds, we do it for the block, we do it for the love. We just don't stop. We do it for the game, we do it for the props. We do it every day and it just don't stop.
I do it for the block and I do it for the burbs. Either at the local park or find me smoking on the curb. I'm a product of both of those. Spit sick, man, you know it's cold. Contagious is what Kane is. Now you need to go blow your nose. You rappers get ate, dog. Call it a cakewalk. My lyrics rare, yeah, well done. They need steak sauce. I do it for the game and I do it for the props. All the respect that I earn it for the love of hip hop. When it comes to that, I got the shit in the bag. I guess that's a big plus, like the Switzerland flag. And I do it for the haters too, man. I ain't mad at you, just get crossed out like weekdays on the calendar. Just like Slick Rick, one hell of a grip. I'm a motherfucking ruler, no measuring tape. And dummy, you goofy, it's so funny. Something like Will Ferrell, except you're nobody. It's the everyday grind of everyday mind. Defending my title with these heavyweight rhymes. Sever day spine with the next snapping beats. Shit, my time's now, you got next after me. Ain't nothing like a crowd finishing your words. Screaming it out loud from the bricks into the burbs. Sipping on the bourbon, twisting up the herb. Even straight edges popping if your vision isn't blurred. Let them do the hate. You set up fools to break, fuck that. I'll show you all the better moves to make. See the radio led the youth astray. Now they send my music help to get them through the day, and that's real. Business you can stand on. Guess it is what it is, like Cameron. I ain't finished it till the fans on. Generational wealth when the glitz and the glam gone.
We do it for the birds, we do it for the block, we do it for the love. We just don't stop. We do it for the game, we do it for the props. We do it every day and it just don't stop. We do it for the birds, we do it for the block, we do it for the love. We just don't stop. We do it for the game, we do it for the props. We do it every day and it just don't stop.
I do it cause I have to, I'm in violent pursuit. I said I'll do it to the death because I'm better than you. How you trying to ride a wave when you don't know how to surf? You moving terrible fashion, ending up on a shirt. I ain't never been nothing to play with. You made a mistake and listen many pennies. Listen slow, motherfuckers. Always the ones that ask what is he saying. Ridiculous, silly spit that half of y'all refuse to get. I figured to be efficient that I'll just start reusing shit. They don't get the half like one times one in perfect math. It cause this effect, so don't be burning your path. You trying to fly? I'm just living my life a higher way. A pound a day and astronomical amounts of fire. Hey, you do what you can, I do what I want. Because of oversized testes, there's a limp in my walk. Been in a slick dude with a chip too, that in your town really rockin'. And always been different and never given, and he's still here with that hot shit.
We do it for the block, we do it for the love. We just don't stop. We do it for the game, we do it for the props. We do it every day and it just don't stop. We do it for the birds, we do it for the block, we do it for the love. We just don't stop. We do it for the game, we do it for the props. We do it every day and it just don't stop.
Kingjucifer. Let them know where this all started from. What up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I am here today with one of my top. I'm gonna throw you. I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be my new thing. You are in my top 5 favorite gamers. So
what up? I'll take that. I'll take that.
So I want to welcome Mr. Josh Powers, Kingjucifer, aka on Twitch, and you can see all his socials that are right there. So make sure you go and follow his ES while you're here. So, what's going on there, Josh?
You know, man, same shit, different pile, but really excited to talk about Game Fest. Blown away, honestly, by this year compared to, not that I've ever been disappointed by a Game Fest, but man, just solid hitters from the smallest indie, like even art and game styles that I do not normally play. I'm like, I gotta fucking play these games.
Absolutely.
I gotta try these.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. No, this summer Game Fest was wild. So, so this was very last minute. I didn't get to set up a whole thing. We were going to start at 6:30. I did make an advertisement, so it's not like you guys are missing anything. You guys are sitting there waiting for us. But I wanted to try to neaten things up a little bit, kind of, clean things up. And then I said that I was going to do a lot of streaming after PAX because there's so much information to do. But, we all get in our field sometimes and we have to deal with life and, just had to handle a lot of personal stuff on my side. But you guys have seen me hop on and off. But I plan on definitely kicking back up again, doing a lot more streaming. So what I'm going to start with is do Summer Game Fest. So today I'm going to be joined by Josh. Tomorrow I'm going to hop on and be joined by Sesame Sheeb. And then on Thursday, right now, hopefully going to be joined by my boy Ace, which Andre, we've done PCG Live together and stuff like that for years. So with that being said, the Summer Game Fest will be this week, and then next week I'm going to probably do some, PAX stuff and go through that with you guys. So, but all right, I'm going to get ready to jump into it. You good on your end, Josh? It looks like you're moving some camera stuff around. Oh, you put my camera up there?
Yeah, I was gonna, but it's not working out the way I wanted, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. I was hoping to I have both of us on the same screen.
Yeah.
But it just screwed up your aspect ratio, so we'll leave that the fuck alone.
So what we'll do is next time we'll do it. I think you can do a collab. So I haven't done this yet. You can do a collab thing on Twitch. Now, if you sign, just log into Twitch, but I don't know what that does. I haven't done the collab with Twitch yet. So
yeah, we'll have to pick a day that we don't have anything going on. We can just do a test run just to fuck around stream and see if we can get it looking right. But if anyone wants to see what this handsome gentleman looks like, you can go to his Twitch. It's Van Lattimore, VanLatimore on Twitch. So not gonna be offended if you pop out of here to go check him out, so you can see both of us at the same time. I just wanted to have a stream running because it's been a while, and I do love the sound of my own voice apparently. So
absolutely,
enjoy.
Man. It's okay to love the sound of your voice. I love the sound of my goddamn voice sometimes.
And it's the ADHD, and I have a gift of yap, as the kids would say.
Hell yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do a little share screen here, and what I'm gonna do on the side, I'm gonna kind of run through all the video. So today specifically, we're going to mostly talk about the opening act for Summer Game Fest and what we call it. We just call it the opening of the event. So and it's Jeff Keighley. So in case you guys are not familiar with what the Summer Game Fest is for many, many, many years, this time of year, we always used to have an event called Evo. I keep calling it fucking Evo, E3. And that was our gamer nerd convention to be able to know what's coming out, what's new, and everything else. So right when COVID hit, obviously that adjusted the world and changed the world. And it shut Evo down. Now, before that happened, Evo was already doing really bad. If you guys want to get into that, we'll talk about that in a future show. There's just a lot of stuff to cover today, so I won't get into the details of what E3 was, but once COVID came, it kind of changed everything. So Jeff Keighley is a gentleman that hosts. He's known for hosting the summer, the Game Awards, Video Game Awards, at the end of the year in December every year. But he was
an invader. My apologies.
Hey, no, dude, My furries aren't in here only because
It's
they're
funny
probably in
because he'll
trouble.
freak out in any other way. You grab him like this,
He loves it.
he doesn't give a shit, dude. It's his fucking favorite. I used to do it when he was a kitten. Never gave the fuck up over. Look at this.
Yeah. Yep.
All
He's
right.
like, hey, I'm
Off camera, so roll. Let me do my goddamn thing.
So, so Jeff Keighley, even before that, he's always been known in the industry. Would you say he's known as a reporter? I guess you
Yeah,
could say
I would say
digital
he's
reporter.
like reporter and just overall like game enthusiast. Like
Yeah,
Jeff is like one of
that's
those
a good
things. Like he's just, yeah, like you can't even really pin Jeff down. He's just kind of like he is gaming,
Mhm.
like a gamer, an enthusiast. He loves all the niche, like different parts of gaming, like I do. So
Mhm.
he really is like the full capture of all gamer love from every spectrum, I think.
Yep. And the community loves Jeff. Jeff's a very awesome guy. He's all about us, the gamers. He's super about the gamers, but he's also like super about the developers. He's super about he really spreads his wealth. There was a few things which again we'll get into other conversations in the future because this is a good topic to talk about. He kind of got caught in the fire of should he be mentioning about these unemployment situations that were happening, and he was just like, oh, it's such a tough subject because he's got friends on both sides, so he never wants to make it like he's but he really, one year when he ignored it and it was the biggest layoff year of all times, and everyone was just like, Jeff, what the fuck? Like, this is
Yeah.
your chance for soapbox and you didn't take it, you know?
Well, and so as far as that goes, I was also very disappointed that same year.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that not just in the gaming space, but across business as a whole, we're seeing more unionization and more of the working class like banded together.
Mhm.
And just to bring it to like the importance with games, I'm not going to sit here and act like the gaming world has always been progressive or good with its employees. Like even me,
Mhm.
you know, I have a bachelor's degree in video game design, and I didn't, and you know, not going to sit here and act like I put my all into finding a job after, but it was also heavily discouraging because I got one offer, kinda, and this is, you know, 8 or 9 years ago, maybe a little less. I was working a different job at a nonprofit. A friend of mine worked for a company that got bought up by Warner Brothers Studios, and they were working on
Did
this
you work
Game
with,
of
so you
Thrones.
worked Turbine?
It was either Turbine or Tap Lab. One of those got bought up.
Because my brother
So
worked for Turbine, who got bought out by WB, and he was a part of the Game of Thrones project.
yeah, so he probably got. So I think what it was, I think Turbine first got acquired, and then Tap Lab was a smaller thing my friend worked at that
Okay.
got also merged.
Okay.
So he was like, "Hey, there's a gig. You have to apply and everything." And it was more of like a project manager type QA kind of area, which is like where my strengths are. Obviously, like I'm good with public speaking and like getting a team to rally together.
Mhm.
So I pursued it. I got down after like weeks and weeks. I got down to trying to think. It was probably like the last 2 or 3, which was shocking to me in
Mhm.
general because I only had like college project experience. And then basically it wasn't so much I got selected, it was like me and 1 or 2 other people, and basically they were like, "Hey, so we really like your attitude. We like, you know, the reviews we heard from your you know, our employee that knows you. But basically I would have to do a minimum of like 6 to 8 months of internship before I was fully offered a position, unpaid. I just, you know, just got out of college, just fucking got my first like car that's mine, like a loan. And I was like, I can't do that. And they were not willing to budge in any capacity for it, which was very disappointing. Like I get where they're coming from,
Mhm.
but at the same time, kind of bullshit. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and no, I definitely can understand, and that it definitely makes it hard. And again, like I wasn't mad. I was upset with Jeff because I did feel like he had the platform to talk
Mhm.
about this, and I think that was a critical time to talk about it. And that would have been ideal time. But I completely understand his stance. Like that is not an easy situation to be in when you have friends all around. It's not just on the gaming side or the coder side. And the thing about Jeff too is he actually knows more that's going on than he actually talks about because literally like you can't really talk about that stuff. It's
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
be under wraps. So it's like he might understand some of that scenario that's going on and why. So it's just like he's like, but guys, it's understandable. But you never ever on any platform ever want to be like, yeah, no, I understand why they're laying everybody off, because that will go into such a bad way, in it won't get read right. So you got to be careful and dance around that
Well,
shit.
and I agree. And like, I'm kind of at the point now. I think before I definitely had more of this like weird apologetic mind state. But I think you generally need to look at it by company,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And not every
and
situation's the same.
yeah, because like I said, with indie studios, indie's so fucking tough, dude. Like some of my favorite games are made by teams of under 100, under 40 most of the time.
Right.
Those are like a lot of my bread and butter because I would rather play a 40-minute, really polished, beautiful, unique game than fucking grind on the most beautiful looking Call of Duty game. And it's not because Call of Duty is a bad game. I don't think it is. I think I'm bad at the game and it just doesn't hit my dopamine areas. But what really kills me is I think that nowadays, and people can say what they want about like backlash online, whatever, it is significantly impactful. So I feel like, though, also from a self-preservation financial standpoint, because that's the other thing where I'm very torn, is I never want people to feel like we're in a day and age with even if you are more comfortable financially, depending on how high up we're talking, risking your entire career and future and potentially getting hired again is risky. I don't disagree with that. But I feel like with him particularly, he's the kind of guy that if he fell on the sword to say like, blanket, I don't support unnecessary terminations of people for companies making record profits. Because that's the big caveat, more different than anything.
Mhm.
There's a massive difference between like you made a game that fucking sucked or did not get received versus like Blizzard. Blizzard is the best example of massive layoffs, poor attention to their game, bad fucking upkeep of it.
But I mean,
and
we
people
can
still getting
go down a pretty big list with Blizzard, though. Like it's
yeah.
it's
And
more.
they were all still getting crazy. Yeah, it's everything on
They're
that. But they were
also a
getting
bunch of
crazy pays.
fucking creeps. You know what I'm saying?
Creep
Like,
love sucks.
there's a
Well, that
lot
was a big
going on
thing.
there. Which, well, I'd love to do a topic with Blizzard with you.
I'd love to.
I would have
go on for days.
I have a good group of friends, and that was a subject we never got to be able. Dude, there's so much content I'm gonna push out, and I want to push it out with a group of people because this type of shit, like me talking about it myself, it's just one sided of the conversation.
Yeah.
And even if everyone in the group agrees, you're hitting it from every angle, so it's huge. But
Yeah.
but you're right though. So, but to get
We'll
back
cover this
onto
again more in
Yeah,
another political rant day.
absolutely. So, long story short, Jeff's an amazing guy. He made up for it. The next year, he did this big thing about publishers and developers, and he just happened to catch on to this other kid too that was doing an even huger thing and magnified the light on him, which was incredible. So, look it up. We'll talk about it more in the future. So, but Jeff is the one that
For sure.
hosts this Summer Game Fest, and he's been doing it, I would say, it's been 5 years now. I would say 2020 was the first year. Maybe if it wasn't 2020, it was 2021. So
Yeah, I think it was 2020.
yeah. So it was one or the other. So he was coming with this anyways because digital content was the new way to push these type of events out. It sucks. It sucks as a gamer to not have this live event that we used to love anymore. But they still do a type of live event now since COVID's been gone for a while. They have been bringing that content still there. And I was listening to Kind of Funny today, and my boy Tim Geddes said it perfect. And I couldn't have said it better myself. And I wanted to write it down so that way I could quote him on the show. So I'll do it another show this week. But pretty much what he was saying was, by all means, just because we say the conventions that we get now are better isn't taking away what E3 did. E3, what they did was different. They didn't produce what they produced then is something that we will never see again and never have a time like that again. And it's special. It's special. But to say that then we got more information than what we do now is insane. And it's not fair because of all the technology we have. It's easier. And now we're flooded with games.
Yeah.
Like constantly
That's what I was gonna
flooded.
say. I was just gonna say, like that is like one of the most comedic like takes on it for me because one, you're 100% right, especially like you said, the accessibility to make a game has never been greater, and that makes me very happy because even when I was in school 10 years ago for this, it was more accessible than it ever had been at that point. And I look back at some of it, again, a decade ago, even less for when I got to the tail end of it. And, you know, like I worked with the original HTC Vive, like trying to make VR shit for that. Like the original OG Rift, where you had to have like a 9-foot fucking set of cables hanging out of the back of your head and was giving you a migraine. Like, you know, I used Unreal Engine 2.5 or some shit. Like, you know, I used really older, not old as in like clunky, but like it was a very different time. And I think, like you said, the key thing is with this Summer Game Fest, it's become more, I think, of blasting you with the next 1 to like 4 or 5 year out of a lot of games. You get to hear really cool in-depth talks of the devs. And I think it's a little bit more focused. Whereas like E3, like you said, was a unique experience. It was the San Diego Comic-Con of gaming. So like you had the most epic cosplays, you had so many different panels of gamers, and like, you know, it was everywhere. So like the live experience was something so much more unique than we get anymore. But as far as like having stuff to look forward to and really like, because some of those E3s were great, but they would also be kind of like wringing the rag, dripping, like little drip feed.
Looking like, what do we have? And that's what made bad content is, these developers and publishers pushing out stuff that A, wasn't ready, or B, they really didn't have anything. So they're like, hey, what are we gonna show? Another year of Just Dance. Hey, here we go. We'll get into a whole topic about that some other time. But you're right.
Even like I think it's last year. And granted, sometimes these games will have name changes or they'll get really heavily reworked. But yeah, because like even the last couple, there's been like at least half a dozen that I was like super kind of pumped for, just for like the fucking big swings they were taking for uniqueness. And then I feel like I haven't heard shit since. Like there's been a lot of rhythm games that I'm not typically a rhythm game, but I am always looking for that new Guitar Hero feel. And there was one they were putting together that was going to, and maybe they're going to save it for the next version of VR headset. But last year, I think it was, they were talking about this one game where basically your infrared cameras would read your fingers and your hand motions. So basically you'd be in VR, air guitaring, and you would actually be able to correspond to strings and play like Guitar Hero. And I found that very insane. And I think a lot of people are wildly underestimating how fucking crazy that is to have that as part of technology. Like, fuck the Power Glove. We're in 3D airspace of using your own. 'Cause think of that further down the road. You'd be able to eventually eliminate the hand controls completely from VR, which I think is some of the biggest hindrance as far as full integration. Like feeling like you're fully in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like the minute those haptic readings can get read better, or maybe we can switch to like a finger sleeve type system where it reads it that way. I think that is going to open VR, because even just from then to now is sci-fi versus like gimmick. It's crazy.
And I agree. I definitely agree. I just don't think we appreciate where we've come from and where we've gone, where we're at, and then where we're going. Now, I just think that technology isn't there yet still for it to be accurate. I think it's going to be a very painful experience. But I also am very excited about it, because usually these painful experiences, especially in gaming lately, lead to improved and future technology. We're seeing less and less of this useless technology coming out and not being used, like fucking Nintendo's heart rate monitor for the Wii U. Like, we never seen it. We never seen it. They talked about it, and as soon as they talked about it, people were just like, why though? You know what I mean?
So just not to totally derail, but just as a quick thing for this, I will say this for Nintendo's sake, even though the heart rate monitor never came out. They are doing one thing that I wish other consoles would do, and I've always felt this way, but now as someone who's finally gotten more active in working out and being in the gym and, you know, trying to have that trade-off between being sedentary as a hardcore gamer and active as a human being who needs to live for a while.
Right.
One of the first things I did to try getting in shape, because now I'm in the gym every single day, like literally every day. But when I was really more self-conscious and like couldn't bring myself to get over my anxieties of being looked at or made fun of or whatever bullshit I was in my own head for no fucking reason. They came out originally with the Switch was the Ring Fit. And I think Ring Fit, I don't know if you are familiar with it, are you?
Yes, yep.
Okay. So for those who don't know what Ring Fit is, think back to the Wii or Wii U where they had that little stabilization pad that you could do like yoga and bullshit on. They took that concept and tried to make it more unique to incorporate working out with gaming. And they definitely need to improve certain things, but basically you would take one Switch controller, you put it in a little pocket sleeve that goes on your thigh, and then you put the other in the top of this giant rubber resistance ring. So in the game, you would either pump your feet or you would run in place, and that would make your character move. And you would use the ring to, if you like pushed in, it shot a fireball. If you pulled out, it did like, I'm sorry, I reverse. Out was fireball, in was gust of wind. And then you could use that to like aim down. And it incorporated a lot of like really pretty intense, like low grade to intense working out, all in like a pretty linear, almost like you're a temple run style game. And it made working out enjoyable, and that's like what I needed, the gamification of working out. And I think games that have access to more intense IPs could really, I think that could be a really good market for gaming. I think that is one of the things that will revolutionize bringing even larger audiences to games. I think we need to make start blending activity and sedentariness into gaming. So, highly recommend the Switch Fit Ring if you haven't used it yet. If you just especially for like a rainy day.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people actually compliment that game. So
it's a lot of fun for what it is. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. So all right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start getting into some of these games. So we're going to get into it. And wherever we land towards the end, that's when we'll kind of just give our overall rating and just kind of speed right through. So,
yeah, there.
It's
so there's like only 2 or 3 I severely want to talk about. So if we don't get to them, I'll make sure to bring them up.
Yeah, this is a very, very long presentation.
Most packed in years.
But I'm going to say this: it didn't feel long. It was like watching a Marvel movie and being like, I don't want this to end, opposed to when is this going to end?
It's literally how I felt, dude. I'm in the gym, I'm working out, and I had it playing like in between sets so I could like peek stuff.
Yeah.
And I ended up fucking pausing it until I got home because the first 40 minutes was banger after banger after banger after banger. I'm like, I cannot just hear clips. I'm like, I gotta fucking watch this. There was like maybe one game that I had like no interest in. And again, it's not the game's fault. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. I want to say
cover that.
For me, 99% of these games that they showed, I was like, I would try that. You know what I mean? Not saying that, I'm going to game it and play it.
Love it or whatever. Yeah.
But be like, yo, I'm kind of interested. And it was a few games, and I'll point them out, that are blowing my mind that they're coming up with a game structure in this way, and I love that.
Okay, so there's
we
two
haven't
of
had
them that are in my mind for that like uniqueness.
Yep.
I think the first one that we're gonna play, if it's the same stream that I watched earlier, I believe the first game is called Metal Shell, and all I'll say before it plays, it's like Dark Souls like is the best way I can say it, but it is by far one of the most metal looking games I've ever fucking seen, and they use like actual like metal in the music video for it, like in the trailer. So I'm fucking hyped, and I want to play it.
Also, in that game too, though, it was Dark Souls like, but action. So I felt like the way they were fighting, it was like Devil May Cry style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. I jotted the names down. I didn't really get to drop my because every time I think of I look at a game, I try to associate it with ones before. There's definitely like a couple of ones that like off the top of my head, obviously kind of run with. But yeah, because I saw a creep at the things where I'm like, okay, I love this metal aesthetic. That's kind of like one of my favorite things, like the dark, twisted body horror that we were seeing. And yeah, but it was like more fast paced. The guns were really interesting take. I'm very curious to see that world build, because nothing ever confuses me more for some reason. It's not the game's fault, but like the implementation of guns in like a world in which swords or magic are very heavily used always throws me because I'm like, I think that's going to be the greatest debate in my own head for the longest time. If you're talking like specifically in which universes, what universes does magic trump gun and does gun trump magic?
Right, exactly. Um, yeah, but the game did look good. And this and Andre, I don't know if you're in the chat. If you're in the chat, you can say something. It should pop up if you've already said stuff. I'm sorry if I've missed it because my chat should. Let me just double check real quick.
And Andre, if he's not be able to see your chat, you can totally hop into mine very quickly and say it, and I will relay it to him
It'd
because
be
mine's
like-
a little bit easier for me to see.
Oh, all right. He said, "Let's go."
Let's go.
And yeah, so it's not popping up.
Have you played Repo yet? Because like I was looking at these things.
So
Some
I
of them I'm
did.
familiar with.
I did
What'd you think?
just I played with my brother and my son, and I thought it was fun. It's no different than the other ones that are like it. So yeah.
Yeah, because Schedule 1, I've seen some clips, and then that 33, I hadn't heard of until last week, and everyone seems to love whatever 33.
33 is disgusting. 33 is so good. It's so good. It's such a good game. Really brings it back to core. I could sit here and talk about the flaws, but it's so good that the flaws don't even make much of a fucking difference. Like it's.
I think as long as the flaws aren't like game breaking, I don't give a shit. That's my thing. I feel like this thing. Let's let this play for a second. Like,
yeah. I definitely want to show
of the
a little bit of
road.
this.
Yeah, I'm middle of the road as far as I didn't realize they fucking
actually put
okay,
it.
so it was Behemoth. I was like, I'm like, this sounds like Behemoth.
Yeah. So
yeah.
like,
that thing is fucking cool, man.
So I wanna touch on this real quick because this was a subject that came in with my group chat. And I told them I was gonna specifically stream and talk about, my ideas of what they said. Because I didn't want it to be missed in transition in the whole text. You know what I mean? You can't get the feeling out of it. So now one of the comments they said was this year was tough because they felt like all games are trying to be Souls-like games. And what he meant by that, and he clarified, he did a great job explaining because that was the only reason why I was be able to rebuttal as clearly as I'm getting ready to now, is he said that it's not the game itself that's bothering him. It's he feels like we hit a plateau like we did with Fortnite when that went Battle Royale. All of a sudden now you see Battle Royale everywhere. That's not necessarily true. It's just it's thrown in our face a little bit more because it's out there and that's what's popular, but it's not necessarily true. So what he meant was the bad guys. If you pay attention to the bad guys, it's all these big faces and monster-like. They got swords, they're deformed, they got fingers instead of arms, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I corrected him. I said, if you think this style game came from Souls-like game, then you haven't been paying attention because it started with Bayonetta. It started with God of War. It started with Devil May Cry. But
Even when the body horror started, back like giant things, Shadow Colossus, body horror, anything fucking Kojima or Resident Evil ever.
Yeah. So
Cronenberg as a fucking creative director, like, come on.
But I get what he was saying. It was more so the artistic style mixed in with the content style.
So I will 100% agree with that because that is one thing I also kind of feel when I look at a lot of these games. And it's weird because it's like, there's other battle royales and stuff like Fortnite versus other things, but I do agree that sometimes when I'm looking at some of these ones that try to have that vein of Souls to it, I don't know if it's because, I don't know, it's weird. It's like when you look at anything and it's like the aesthetics are almost so similar that you could tell me this is a Dark Souls game and I would buy it.
Mm-hmm.
This one I think has a little bit more metal influence rather than medieval fantasy, which I think is going to be the main separator between the two. But yeah, I get what he's saying because I wouldn't say I'm tired of it, but this is the first one of them that I've seen and I'm like, I'm willing to get the shit kicked out of me to experience this game. Like I only started playing Elden Ring in the last year, and I only play it on a modded version my friends have that allows us to play in the same world as a team. I don't
Mhm.
think I'd enjoy it as much alone. Like,
Right. To
I'm
me,
not
it's
that
just
hardcore guy anymore.
it's too slow of a game, character
Yeah,
wise.
and that's my thing. Like, my slow games are gonna be Oblivion and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like
yeah.
things that I
Like
love already.
I think Elden Ring was definitely faster. I can't wait to play Lies of P. I've been wanting to play Lies of P 2 years before it even came out. I'm just mad. I just haven't had time to really play now, but that's really what I want to see too. I mean, feel and play too. But I've heard even Lies of P is very fast.
Yeah,
But this doesn't look like, oh, it's not very fast. It's like that's what it's based off. It's meant to take the Dark Souls like game and make it more of a Devil May Cry meets Dark Souls, which is fine. But I wanted to kind of get back to what my thoughts are about the comment saying all Dark Souls like game. It's tough because Dark Souls, right? The problem with Dark Souls game is they're just all dark games. We've been dealing with dark video games since the beginning of the time. And then you add the medieval age. So it's like you take that time frame, that's more of the thing that you're seeing everywhere. It's that time frame that's being used for so much. So when you see that over and over and over and over again, you're relating it to the other things that you see and now you're throwing it all in that category. And us
exactly.
as gamers too, we have this bad habit of taking whatever's hard at that time and then naming whatever that's doing after that game. And we got to kind of
Hundred
stop.
percent.
We got to stop doing that because, like, all right, this is the one and only style game that can get away with this because it's actually old enough to defend itself. Metroidvania, right?
Yeah.
I have no problem with calling it that because again, I'm old school and that's kind of was the beginning of it. So
Mhm.
that style, I don't mind it being called that because that's actually what it is. It's Metroidvania, a Castlevania style game matched together, and
Yeah.
that's the new thing. So we're seeing that, and that was the beginning of it. But to say like Dark Souls style game, what makes it Dark Souls? It being hard. Japanese games have been hard since they've been making
Ever.
fucking video games. So
Ninja
that's
Gaiden 2 was the bane of my fucking existence in high school.
you know what I'm saying? So like, and I'm not making fun of it. I'm not saying let's not call it Souls like game. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying we keep doing it over and over again. But
Yeah.
also this style, like every other style, like every other game, like at one point in time there was only one first person shooter game, right? So are we
Mhm.
mad at Call of Duty? Because Call of Duty most certainly was not the first person shooter game.
Well,
It-
so
it-
that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, when do we start fucking taking it back and saying, oh, this is so Medal of Honor, or oh, this is
yeah,
so fucking SOCOM Navy SEALs too. Like, that's my thing. Because if we're gonna be that way about Dark Souls, let's be that way about COD. And again, no hate to COD. It's not my cup, but like
no.
my very, very first online shooting experience was on the PlayStation 2 and those dial-up lobbies playing SOCOM Navy SEALs 2
Yep.
and getting like, 1 to 2 kills a match,
Yeah.
and yeah, the game's elevated so much, but like that's also the thing. Like, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line of like, because like that's the thing. Say that this game becomes the new meta as far as like Dark Souls. Like, are we gonna say, oh, it's all Metal Shell ish? Like, no, it's fucking dumb. Like,
Yeah.
like I have no issue saying games are like other games, but when you try to pretty much like call anything new that is not the baby you fell in love with a rip off or a play, like it drives me crazy because it's
Yeah.
like there are some you can 100% call out. Like, not that we're going to dive into it today, but like there's the whole situation with, I think it's Bungie maybe, where they like one of their teams has been like stealing art from a
Oh
small
yeah,
creator
that
for
whole
like a year.
scenario. Yeah,
Wild,
yeah.
wild, dude.
And now they're doing a little bit more research and diving a little bit deeper and some shit's
Yeah,
coming
it's
out.
bad. It's
So,
bad.
but yeah. So all right. So
Let's keep on rolling.
yeah. So the next game is the Star Wars Galactic Battle 5 Death Star Sabotage. And all it is pretty much the Fortnite battle pass.
Have you been playing this at all?
No. So I'm not.
Oh, dude, it's so fun.
I'm not. So I'm not a Fortnite player, but every now and then I'll just be like, I'd say once a year, I'm like, I'm gonna jump in and see what's new and then play. But there's been so much content that has made me want to play. Like when they added Kratos, I thought for
Yeah.
sure I was like, nope, it's gonna get me, and I didn't go into it. And then Ninja Turtles, and then the Marvel stuff, and so it was just like the content's there. I don't shit on Fortnite anymore. I don't.
It's way better than people give it credit for. Like, I can't sit here and say I've ever had a bad time, even when I'm doing wicked bad.
Maybe one point in time I could sit there and shit on it. They are making the biggest agreements with the biggest companies in the world that
Every one
most
of them.
people can't even do deals with as toys. Never
Oh, dude,
mind
even
video
celebrities.
games.
The fact that Sabrina Carpenter is in the game, love that.
See,
Fucking love it.
but
I
I
want to
think,
buy the goddamn skin and just be me espresso every fucking match.
but I feel like getting an individual character is much easier because everyone as an individual wants money. Companies as a whole never wants their image to be one thing. Fucking Nintendo put out characters on there. Fucking Nintendo. Does anyone realize how hard it is to do anything business related with Nintendo? Like,
Literally anything. Like,
I give them so much credit. So I'm at a point where I'm past like this is stupid to a point of all right, now I'm jealous because their company that Riot, right, or Epic or whatever you want to fucking call them, not Riot because Riot's
yeah,
League of
Epic,
Legends.
yeah.
Epic,
And
you
Valorant, I think.
they take care of their people. They take care of their fans in any way possible. They recreate something over and over and over again and into something new. No game ever does that. Like they literally allowed racing. They put Rock Band into it. They put Legos into it. Like they it is the true definition of a sandbox game. A true
really
definition of a sandbox game. And
Like,
it's crazy.
yeah, like my niece and nephews, like, they love Roblox, and I try like learning the game because I watch them whenever they play it at my house. But it's a similar thing where it's like you have all these different kind of rooms and custom lives and shit you can do. And I think the UI, and maybe it's because I'm an old head, I don't know, but I think the UI of Roblox is like super over fucking whelming, and very confusing. But with Fortnite, same thing. Like I've had it on and off since like it came out with building was like you had to build to survive. Ever since they added the zero build mode, that's what I play. And I have a lot of fun. There are some times where I'll win alone or I'll get the shit kicked out of me by a 10-year-old. You know, it is what it is. The game's... And again, this is from me who, when it comes to 90% of shooters, I usually cannot fucking stand third-person shooters. I think that the way the crosshairs line up, fuck me up. Rivals is a good example. I think Rivals is one of those fun third-persons they ever used, and I can't fucking stand lining up my shots half the time because it's this weird offset. But... with Fortnite, I've appreciated because I don't put money into Fortnite. I will do a season pass once in a while if it's like all dope shit I love. But like the amount of like characters and animations that I love from wicked random IPs that I've gotten in the game, not to mention their unique skins and equipment you can get are all really fucking cool. There's shit that I have in that game that is specific to Fortnite, no other influence, and it is the coolest designs of anything. But like I have like Goku as a skin. You know what it's like to fucking fly down on your flying Nimbus or on the fucking Saiyan ship and then gap people down as Goku? It's insane. But with the Star Wars thing, because this is the other thing I really like about it, is with a lot of games, you'll have them really preserve their maps. With Fortnite, you have like the general like landing island, whatever the fuck it's called. But the fact that they're so willing to just be like, hey, we're upending every fucking thing you've known for X amount of months or years, and we're going to place it with whole new layouts. And it's done so frequently that you would expect that in like any other game to like have a massive negative reaction. I only see positive hype for every season. In the Star Wars stuff, they did some Star Wars shit like last year, where like Vader was kind of patrolling around, you could lightsaber battle him. In the current version, all the guns have been replaced with Star Wars in-universe weaponry. So everything from like the Wookiee crossbow to Mando's gun to fucking Solo's gun, the Stormtrooper shit, all of it. And then you can also get lightsabers and stuff. Like fighting lightsabers in that game against another player, they've got the animations pretty fucking coolly hit down. Like it's great. So I highly recommend it. I'm definitely playing the newest thing that they showed with the Star thing, because right now the Imperial cruiser comes in mid-match and just starts boom, 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 and it fucks my ass up every time.
Yeah, no, the Fortnite.
It's Jacinto, god damn it!
What?
Jacinto just said some wild shit in my fucking chat.
Oh. But like, for me, Fortnite has been like fun when I jump in and play real quick. It's just not for me, but for not for any particular reason other than there's just other games that I would rather play, because if I get sucked in that
Yeah.
world, then it's I'm sucked into that world and the game has no end content. So,
Yeah, so like unless I'm playing with my friends, I usually don't play on it. But like once in a while, depending on the storyline, I'll just hop in because like one thing I will say that I like about it is even if you're not like grinding the battle pass specific, there are so many just kind of mundane like quests and missions you earn passively just by playing. Like, oh, walked 5,000 kilometers. Oh, got 3 kills. So it's like almost every match you're getting like some kind of little XP reward and satisfaction. So like it's a good flow of like it's not that serious. Like I can pick it up anytime and put it down for months and not give a shit. Like that's what I like about Fortnite. It's
Yeah.
one of the few shooters that I can pick up, I can play, and I've never once felt sweaty playing. Even when I do really good, it's never like this fucking like I've never raged over Fortnite.
yeah.
That's the one thing I'll give it.
And that's why I
I'll
always
rage over
keep
everything else.
Fortnite installed on something, because if I ever want to pick something up real quick and just run through it, then I will,
Yeah.
So, all right. Hiro Kojima comes out, and we all love him. He is like that cool kid in the school that everyone drooled over, and like he's
Yeah.
like he's so cool, he does all this cool shit.
Trust me, with the amount of like icons from our youth that have revealed their true colors in this day and age, people like Neil Gaiman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm constantly like just holding on to dear life to Hideo, because it's like Kojima, like I liked Resident Evil and stuff like that, but like there is something about Kojima's work throughout the years that always like I was always very scared of horror as a kid. Like I'm even now, I love watching it, but I could definitely get easily freaked out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in games. But there's something about his aesthetic and the way he's always done psychological horror or body stuff. Like there is something about that. No matter how terrifying or creepy or uncomfortable the subject is, I'm like, I need to see this to the end. I need to have answers. He's such an amazing storyteller.
Oh,
even with Death
best.
Stranding, it's such a long format walk game, but if you watch like it, just like the cutscenes and like the storyline overall, that is important. It's really interesting. I still don't remember the full context of the game, but I'm interested to see where he goes from there. Because the trailer originally kind of gave me more. What vibes was it? The PT aesthetically but then once I realized it was the cancer symbol, I was very curious to see where that's going.
Yeah. So like with him, how I've always felt like his games were like you said, just locked in. Now I never got to play Death Stranding 1, and I want to, and I'm going to, because his story writing is like I think in video games, hands down, he is probably the best story writer in gaming.
As a single individual, for sure,
Right.
with no question.
And
You definitely have some other giants up there, but he's the top dog.
And I'm not throwing shade at like the God of War writers or anything. It's just
but like Kojima just has like I'm sure he has a polished team.
It's things that you just wouldn't even think of, and you put it together, and you just like, Jesus, that was fucking genius. Like that was so good. So I feel I get that from his games. I'm just the trailers suck me into. I'm just like, this is game of the year. And anytime I see trailers from him, I'm just like, yep, game of the year. I don't care. I don't need to play it.
Dude, this is actually where I ended up pausing it at the gym. Because the minute I heard Hideo come out, I was like, nope, we're gonna wait. We're gonna fucking wait till we're in the locker room. I can't.
Yep. So they showed that these two people have a connection with each other. And this is a very hard one to explain, but supposedly the visuals we see is supposed to be in-game graphics. So I'm very curious on how well that's going
I
to.
think it'll run like this because especially where the console's been better. But I think even when we were looking at games like what was it called? The one they're making a movie of that's not like the fucking game at all.
Oh, the horror one?
Yeah, with Brett Dalton was in it.
Yeah.
And Rami Malek. I forget. I'm blanking on the name. With the Wendigos. It'll come to me at the end of the fucking stream when I turn the camera off. But basically, that game for that time in mocap,
Dead by Daylight,
ran really smooth. Yeah, Dead by Daylight. That was it.
Dead by Daylight.
No.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight.
No, isn't Dead by Daylight the horror escape like 1v5 or whatever?
That's the movie. That they have a movie too. You're talking about recent, right? Because Dead by Daylight just came out. Is that who you're talking about?
No. Let me look it up really quick.
Okay.
Because you might have it right, but I think I could have sworn that's the game of like the one where you play as a killer or a victim and get away.
Yeah, yes, that is. You're supposed to be like
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm thinking of a different one. Brett Dalton game.
I'm trying to remember what this game was. I want to say this was RTS.
Until Dawn. Until Dawn is the word I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. Okay, Until Dawn.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's like one of the ones where I thought the animation was great. So this is the one that I didn't really give a shit about. And again, I'm not an RTS. I think this one's an RTS.
Yeah, it's
probably.
an RTS. Yeah, I'm super
So
into
that's the thing.
RTS. I love RTSs so much.
So here's the thing. I don't hate like real-time strategy.
But look at that shit, though. That
So
shit
this
is
one-
wild.
This is where I was intrigued because a lot of RTSs I don't feel the aesthetic really pulls me into the battle. This one is the first one where I'm like, okay, this kind of looks more in. You know, I feel like a lot of RTSs I play are also a lot of top downs, or they're like you have these visuals in the trailer like this, and then it's a lot of like chessboard style play, and that kind of doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
That looked interesting, but I'm a big not Crusades medieval guy as far as like reality version of it, you know. And it's one of those things where like Tom Hardy's narrating it. Is that just for the trailer, or is that gonna like be something in the game? That was like my main thing. I don't need a big A-list celebrity to narrate a trailer he's not gonna have anything to do with.
Right.
This was interesting.
Yeah, no,
this looks
I'm
good.
excited for this. Like, this looks really fucking good. Like, this looks really, really good. Like, I love little racing games like this, and I don't talk about it with people a lot. A lot of people don't even know that, and my boys are probably watching like, that's a lie, man. No, I'm telling you, like, I secretly played a lot of these like Mario Kart duplicate racing games, and
Yeah.
I love them. Like, I absolutely love them. But this,
Well, and I always loved them. Same. I've always loved them. I'm very torn sometimes with how I feel about like the Mario Karts these days. Just because, and maybe it's because I'm just old and I can't process shit like I used to. But like, I feel like sometimes the maps are so fucking wild that I cannot tell where the fuck I'm going.
but I'm okay with that sometimes.
Yeah, some games I'm fine. Like I said, a lot of the Mario maps I'm fine with. Some of them I just think are overdone. But this looks very similar to it. I love the randos that they're adding to the game. The thing I will say that I found kind of weird and interesting, because I didn't get to watch this stuff live. I'm catching up a lot of it right now. But and we won't spend a lot of time talking on it today, other than like it was super fucking cringe. But like the the Splitgate guy, his entire thing was fucking weird. Dog like talking shit about other games. Like, I'm not against like saying like we're gonna be better than, but like he just came out really fucking disgusting in my opinion, like very rude about it. But this I found really fucking funny still. So this is maybe me having double standards. I don't know. When this guy fucking brings up that, oh, by the way, unlike another racing game, we're gonna have cross-platform compatibility in virtual racing against each other, like at launch. It's like, damn, motherfucker. Damn. But he's right though. That's something that pissed me off with Nintendo. Nintendo could fucking, I don't think crush the other companies per se, but it's like I don't understand what is stopping them. Like I just don't get how it makes sense. With the price point of their console, at this point, I think everyone would agree they would buy a Switch if it had better user compatibility and features. Like, I get their worries about mods and shit, but yo, let me have a good fucking chat. Let me have a good fucking play experience. Give me hardware that can handle the games that you were trying to like lure people away from other systems for. And people will pay for it. Like, the fact that you can't cross, like, even just last night, this is actually great for coincidence. So my buddy lives like 2 states away and has a kid, so I can't really fucking play with him like we used to. Anytime he hits me up, it's like, hey, I got 20 fucking minutes, you want to play, whatever. Hits me up yesterday, he's like, yo, you want to play a couple rounds of Smash? Because we played last time it was over, and I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Have you ever tried creating I'm sure you have from the shop, but you've done a fucking online arena for Smash to play one fucking friend?
Oh yeah, no, it's awful. It's awful.
Dude,
And Nintendo Online in general just was awful, which I'm glad they seem to fix it.
How have you existed as a system company before Microsoft had Xbox, and you can't get chat down?
So
that's like the thing with me. It blows my mind that they like don't care enough that it's still like basically playing on an N64 as far as like online playing.
So I've talked about Nintendo probably a billion times through stream, like a billion times, and my same end result's always going to be this, and it's going to end this way. Nintendo is that ex-girlfriend that treats you like shit that you can never break up with. They're going to be like, you have all this shit to say. She abuses me, she punches me, she kicks me, she does all this, and everyone's going to be like, well, why don't you leave her? Well, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Nintendo's that same way.
Don't
Nintendo,
target it.
they send out broken fucking Pokemon games. Pokemon games that don't fucking work. And what do? We say, hey, this sucks, but we're going to keep buying it. And it's the best Pokemon game that exists. And it's just like, that's Nintendo, and that's how Nintendo's always going to be. So we've always just accepted it. You know what I mean?
Which is disappointing because like after the last one, I'm just kind of like, I want the new one, but I'm not buying a new Switch for it, and I want more Arceus style.
Everyone,
real quick, just to that previous game that was just
Code Vein too. Code Vein.
Yeah,
First of all,
so
the
I'm
original
not
game
familiar-
was so dope.
So I've never played that, never even heard of it.
Yep.
But I'm usually not into like heavily cartoony anime games, only because 90% of them, I forget that free to play one that every fucking dude goons over. But a lot of the time, I feel very uncomfortable by like, I have no issue with models being like done up sexier or anything like that. There's just something specifically about the overly young looking images of some of the models they use for 1,000-year-old people where I'm like,
yeah,
this is uncomfortable. I don't want to play this. But this game,
do you not
just
watch
from the bit I
anime?
saw-
No, I'm like,
Hey, dude, trust me, I am very
Hunter x
depending on the
Hunter for
fucking
crying
anime.
out loud. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
So like some animes I will absolutely watch. And don't get me wrong, there's some goofy as shit ones I love episodes of because the intentional over the topness. Like, you ever seen Food Wars?
Nope.
Short version, it's basically a cooking anime, but the way that a lot of people react to really good food is hyper suggestive, for lack of a better appropriate stream term. And it's really funny sometimes. It's not a kid show.
That's funny.
But yeah, so like this one just looked very different from what I'm used to playing as far as these, and it looked really, really cool. So I'm interested to give that a shot.
Yeah, Code Vein, the first one was pretty dope. This game, this was like almost looks like a little indie game, Little Nightmarish.
Yeah, I love Little Nightmares. This one, I don't know if I saw this trailer.
I am a fanatic of Little Nightmares.
Oh yeah, dude, same.
And
Little Nightmares is like one of my favorite horror aesthetics. It's that very anime, like same existence, different size creatures, like gods to man kind of deal.
I love shit that fucks.
This is also a great example of what we were talking about before with like the body horror style things. Like those games had that shit too.
Yep. So this is very to me, Little Nightmare slash it's called End of the Abyss. Little Nightmare slash Diablo style. Because if you notice, it's that top down style. I can't wait. Wish list immediately. Like bananas. All right. Yeah, fast forward. We'll do 7:45. Do a couple more games. This shit right here.
Play this shit right here, my
this
guy.
right here is fine. We talked about this, I think, for PAX, didn't we?
Yeah, I definitely brought this up.
Yeah. This artwork is just, if you've ever dived into programming at all in your life, even a little bit, this game blows your mind. Like, blows your mind.
From a coding standpoint, from an animation standpoint, like, I fucking, like, the amount of, like, layers, can we rewind it just a pinch?
Yeah.
Just, like, the layers that go into it. Like, so here are the things that hit for me. First and foremost, I fucking love that, like, time period is awful, but the aesthetics, the crime, black and white noir, detective shit, I love that era. See?
Yeah.
Like, come here, sweetheart. Yep. Like, that shit, I love that era.
That's my favorite era, too. Zoot suits and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, dude, trust me. I'm trying to get so I can wear that pinstripe suit daily. That's why I'm working out so bad.
I rented that for my senior prom.
Oh, sick.
It was a purple zoot
mine
suit.
had stripes. Mine was black with stripes. But I love the layering and variety of animation in it. I love how it's this kind of combination of Street Noir PI mixed with Steamboat Willie, mixed with a little bit of Cuphead, kind of a little Bioshock as far as some like the mechanics and weaponry I saw. That was interesting, and only in the sense of like, plasma blast or freeze ray, whatever the fuck that was.
And
But
Troy
it's just, it's
Baker
so
is
cool.
doing the main acting.
Right.
My
I love his line at the end.
boys.
He's like, another voice role for Troy Baker. So I
Yeah.
follow Troy on TikTok, and dude, that guy kills me. I fucking love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one I'm super excited about. Yeah, let's keep rolling.
Yeah, we'll see what else we got here because I know.
Oh, it also has like Bendy and the Ink Machine vibes too. That was what I was trying to think of. You ever play Bendy and the Ink Machine?
Yes. Yep.
Fun,
and obviously
fun horror game.
Cuphead.
Okay, so let me ask you where the fuck you feel about this, because I was so torn on how I feel with this.
So I'm amped for this, and why? Because they allow you to change the time. Like, it's not saying, hey, this is the timeline, you got to stick with this. Because if they had to do that, then it sucks. And I think, like, I love that they did the trailer on that, because if there was anything that everyone was the most mad about, it was that the whole fight scene between them, that we got robbed. It was this big fucking buildup for years, like years, and then all of a sudden they fight for all of like 2 seconds, and then the fight's over, and then fucking chick kills him. Like, come get the fuck out of here.
My thing is this, dude. Game of Thrones will forever piss me off because of that ending, because it's one of those great examples of like, you can't fucking win no matter what. And I don't mean that from like the writer's standpoint. I mean that from when you look at some of the best games and movies, or most hopeful games and movies over the years. DCU is a great example. Where you get so hyped because it's like, fine, we got to see this fucking IP, we got to do this, that, and the other thing. And then it is such a fucking letdown, or it is so heavily corporatized, not corporatized per se, but meddled from top down from like the executive branch, that looks like shit, or it's like boring. Game of Thrones hit such a fucking hardcore stride in the beginning. As someone who never knew about the books or any of it prior to the show, this show captured people so hardcore. I went from never giving a flying fuck about this like overall medieval fantasy, I like it, but it's never been my top tier, to like, I gave a fuck about this weird incest family and this fucking bastard family and these fucking weird water people and all this shit. But you're right, it ended like shit. So that's one thing. I'm not an RTS guy, but when they implied that you basically can change how it goes, and then showing Jon rising up as a white, I was like, okay, I will at least watch this shit to see what, because I feel like you're never going to get a full fix for the show, but I feel like this is the closest to an apology you'll get, is the ability to replay the story in just, not the way it should be, but in any way that wasn't that dog shit.
Yeah. So
Mundfish
like,
came up and I said it.
I
These
didn't,
2 games I'm excited for it as well.
I didn't hate it as much as everyone else was. I was disappointed. But when you come from what happened while watching Lost, there's nothing that will ever match that. Like,
that's fair.
That was such dog shit. That dog shit couldn't even compare to that dog shit.
Dude, the worst thing is, like, I didn't even watch Lost when it originally came out. Like, I saw the first couple episodes. I knew about the smoke creature thing and whatever. But it wasn't until I graduated high school. I was working at this kitchen with a bunch of my friends, and they had a band space to practice in. And we would hang out there on weekends and drink and smoke and do debaucherous things. Early 20s. One of the guys, younger dude than us, bought the box set for Lost. So everyone's like, oh, the show's so good, so good. Never seen it. I was like, well, we're just going to fucking sit here and get stoned anyway, because that's all we did back in the 2000s. So we ended up watching the entirety of fucking Lost over a couple of months. And to finally get to that ending, older with the legal ability to drink, man, was I pissed. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I sat in this musty fucking space in the dark watching this shit for that. Really?
Yeah. Never have I been so disappointed my entire life. So
yeah. But this Mundfish company, I only got to look at Atomic Heart 1, didn't get to play it, but this fucking game and the in-universe game they show after this, I fucking love. This is like probably one of my favorite over-the-top looks of a sci-fi thing in a long time. Like, this is if you gave Mass Effect Hideo Kojima art design.
Yeah, this is like bananas.
Like, it's Fallout, it's fucking Star Wars, it's Cyberpunk, it is
everything. It's
so crazy, dude. Yeah. Like, the art team on this thing has got to be like what the fuck is that? The fuck is that? The fuck is this? The fuck is any of this? It's so nuts, dude. I am blown away by just the unique art aesthetic of, like, even that.
Have you ever played the first Atomic Heart?
No, I think I have it in my fucking Steam library. I think I can't remember because it came out a couple of years ago, or is it an older system one that I missed?
So it came out a while ago, and they threw it on Game Pass, and that's when I um got to
I
play
feel like I
it.
had it on Pass, but didn't play
And
it.
I'm like, wow, like this game is fucking disgusting. Like it's a really good game. So,
Yeah,
dude, it will play just like how we're seeing it. And that's what I'm excited about. Like
yeah,
we're gonna see some wild fucking shit.
yeah.
Right?
Because having that atomic error of the world in play, like I said, you see a lot of the similarities between it and the Fallout stuff. This part is what was throwing me. So like, I just like from the trailer, I don't know what to fully expect from the game player point of view, other
Mhm,
than it's fucking insanity.
mhm.
Like I have Titanfall vibes in this. I have Horizon Zero Dawn vibes, BioShock, fucking. Oh, that kind of reminds me of
I got
is it
Far Cry
Infamous?
right there.
Yeah, Far Cry. Like there are so many things in this game, and like this was very like Superman, Supergirl coded for me.
Yeah.
I felt this was very Justice League going on a mission, saying bye to Batman. I will say that scene right there, and I think there's another one with a very close up crotch shot that
Hmm.
fucking caught me so off guard. Not hating, they definitely perfected the body models of every character in this game, but specifically the tits and fucking ass of everyone, which is never gonna get a disapproval from me, but it just always makes me laugh. They're like, we gotta make sure they're perfect. We gotta focus on it in the camera. Fuck our gameplay. Let's get that ass.
Yeah, no, like it it's everything. And I like when we get things like this because it changes your mood and your emotions as you're playing, so you're not stuck and bored with the same stuff. So like
Yeah,
that
like
right there was straight out of the movie with Tom Cruise.
Mission Impossible.
No, he was a space guy and he thought he was the only one alive down there.
Oh,
And
I
was
forget what you're fucking calling. Yeah, I know what you mean. I forget it.
oh shit. I forget the name of it. But
But
that's what the ship does. He leaves his bay and every time it flips down like that.
yeah.
But
So this is
anyways.
the next thing. The next thing they're about to show, if I recall correctly, Cube or
Mm,
whatever that's in the same universe. This shit is probably one of the first shooters that like multiplayers that really piqued my interest because at first by this I thought it was just gonna be a cool story, which it seems like it's gonna be a combo of both. But this thing really, really sent me for a loop
mhm.
because to me, the level of like it's kind of one of those concepts that I feel like it kind of has been dangling in front of our face for years, and it's like, wow, I'm glad someone got it because it's very Rubik's Cube
Mhm.
elevated. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
the Halo rings
Mhm.
elevated. It
Mhm.
is such a unique looking verse. And again, always makes me laugh with the fucking the skirts and the fucking war zones and shit.
Yeah.
But like I love this weird body horror of these creatures. I really like how it's kind of a combination of this like story and like what's going on.
Mhm.
They talk throughout this how like the universe, the world between the portals and the shape shifting will constantly rotate the battlefield experience, and I'm very interested to see the fluidity of that
Yes,
and
I
see how
agree.
well it'll play. Because again, it seems so fast paced
Mhm.
for an online thing. And granted, I'm having a hard time telling if it's going to be a combination of all like this is the crotch shot I was talking about.
Yeah.
Um, I'm curious to see if it's going to end up being NPCs and people on it, kind of like how Titanfall was, or if it's like this is just for build up for the trailer. But I find it very interesting. I think that's a super cool concept. It reminds me of a lot of European sci-fi shit I've seen, like the platform and stuff, where it's just like ominous like item that you really don't fucking get, but it's very threatening either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just the graphics of that game just looks fucking
Yeah. This is like
disgusting.
this is what the Traveler could have been.
Yeah, like, and I just love like crazy ideas like that because it just like you said it really stretches your ability to think and you're just starting to be like I don't know what to expect next. So, I'm just going to ride this roller coaster. So,
Yeah.
but all right, man, it's about 8 o'clock. We've been talking for a good hour.
All right. Could I trouble you to do one more out of this list before we go? Because
Sure.
it's so goofy that I don't want to miss it, and I feel like a lot of comedy games don't get appreciation. So it should be 3 more games in, it's felt that the puppet game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that looked wild.
So I saw it on TikTok this morning. This Marvel game always looks fucking awesome
Yeah,
too.
Cosmic Invasion.
This thing looked fucking crazy. Like, like I could fucking do a 12-hour stream with this 5-hour live stream.
For real, like this is insane. Like I wish we had more time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I said, if you ever want to go back, I know you got days
Oh, no,
planned
we-
ahead, but I'm
there's
free
plenty
to
more to
come
talk
back and
about.
keep tearing this one apart.
yeah.
So yeah, this thing I found so fucking wildly unique and so insane. This is one of the things that I'm like,
I still don't even know
people
how
do
they did
not-
it.
that's what I'm saying. I can't wait for some behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are unaware, everything you're seeing is puppets made in Unreal Engine 5.
Mm.
Everything you're seeing is not a hand puppet. This
Yep.
is not made with felt or real things. This is all in game. I don't think people, because again, even as someone with game design background, it is still hard for me to wrap my fucking brain around it, because understanding texturing and bump maps and the way that you like skin an animation, like a model, and put it back together and have all the stuff look like, a lot of times when you're seeing this stuff, this is not a lot of times raised, everyone. This is solely kind of like a combination of light and texturing that you couldn't physically, like if you were to pull it out, you wouldn't feel it. It'd be lower. So the way that they've done this with a handful of texturing and animation and really nailed down that feel of the strings being pulled for them, like it is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
And these Muppets also have such puppets have such a feel to the Muppet universe. I think it could bring in that audience as well, like the nostalgia to just being to fuck around with a puppet in real life. Like this guy with the knives, I thought was crazy. But yeah, like you guys can't hear the comedy. I highly recommend going and looking up this trailer. It's very slapsticky, jokey puppet comedy. It's fucking great. It's going to be probably one of my most hyped games that I have for. I've like, it's not the most complex, it's not the most insane, but it is so fucking unique. And I don't think comedy games get enough appreciation if Justin Roiland's not attached to them. So I just want comedy to get the proper shine, and people understand that like you can piss yourself laughing at a game and it not have to be a quiplash or overall just dirty swears and stuff. And again, don't get me wrong, I fucking love my swearing games, but that's my overall point.
Grandma Boy is the perfect comedy. Like I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
Grandma's Boy is like one of the most underrated comedies of all time, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah,
it's
it
doing
really
some
isn't.
very basic stuff, and it just
Mhm.
it's fucking hilarious. So
As someone with the initials JP, I took quite offense to it for a long time, but I appreciate it now. But a lot of time I was watching, I was like, does not compute.
mhm.
But all right, thank you for fucking having me, my dude.
Oh, of
I've had a
course.
blast as always.
Of course, yeah. No, thank you for joining. We'll do it again extremely soon. Like I told you, me and Josh have been talking, and we're gonna help each other stream more. So
Absolutely,
build a
I'm
team.
looking to. I'm so looking forward to it, man.
yeah,
We'll have to definitely put together some things that, you know, maybe if we can find Louis some goddamn time or whatever. So I just want us to like play a couple like even goofy, simple, laid back games to do once in a while on stream.
we can do
'Cause
tabletop.
The shooters are fun, but there's a lot of cool. Oh yeah, dude, tabletop simulator. I haven't done that in a fucking grip.
Yeah, we can play a ton of games on that, and I have a good group of people. I know, Kelsey will get in on it.
Hell yeah.
There's a few people that I know that would get in on it. So absolutely. Well, I'm gonna sign off here so that way we're good to go. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. We'll see Josh again extremely soon. Thank you for joining, Josh.
Thank you, my friend. You have
well,
a great